Greetings, Aquarius and Aquarius rising. This is your Western forecast for June 2025. Jupiter is changing signs as it does once a year. Goes through all the 12 signs with a 12-year cycle. But Jupiter on June the 9th is moving into its exalted sign of Cancer. So the best of the promises and the potentials of Jupiter can be more realized. So this is a big cosmic event once every 12 years from June the 9th, 2025 till the end of June 2026. Jupiter exalted in Cancer is 6 signs past Aquarius. The 6th house in basic astrology is work, health, and service. Jupiter is all this generosity. You may be wanting to get really involved in charity, volunteering, helping those less fortunate. So it's really expanding and bringing a lot of fulfillment, being of service to others. Health, work and health. This could be very favorable for self-improvement, for improving your daily habits, your health habits. But Jupiter seeks knowledge, and you could be learning new job skills, but also you could be learning more healing arts, medical arts, wanting to go back to school, to become a doctor, to become a nurse, to become a therapist, to become a counselor, become a chiropractor. That Jupiter seeks knowledge, and it's once in that 6th house of being a service to others, but also wanting to take care and being healthcare with others, also yourself. So there's a lot of potential self-improvement with your body maintenance and with work. You could be getting a lot more work projects. You could be getting a really great job offer, and certainly be learning, because Jupiter seeks knowledge, learning new job skills. Maybe you want to really expand and start thinking about having your own business. Now, before I go further with the other planetary events for June, if you enjoy this type of video and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. Usually I start with where is the sun shining, but I wanted to just jump into this big planetary event once every 12 years. Jupiter exalted in Cancer. But what I usually start every month is where's the sun? Well, the sun at the end of May, the first 3 weeks of every June, is transiting through Gemini. Gemini is an air sign, very compatible with Aquarius, an air sign. So wherever the sun is putting its spotlight is where your attention and priority is more directed. Well, Gemini is 5 signs past Aquarius. So the spotlight of the 5th house is fun and games and sports and dance and vacations. The 5th house of romance, of vacations, of children. It's a very pleasurable area. It's the 5th house of childbirth. You could be giving birth to creative projects, which is also the 5th house. So there's a lot of this optimism and hopefulness as June is unfolding. June the 9th, now the Jupiter's exalted. On June the 20th, the sun leaves Gemini, all that fun and games. And now it's like it's back to work. We got to get back and catch up where we might have just been doing a lot of vacationing and playfulness. When the sun goes into Cancer, putting a spotlight on your 6th house of your work duties, but it's also really putting all the best of Jupiter even more into the spotlight. Now, Jupiter is going to bring all this growth with body maintenance, more work, helping others. But when Jupiter first goes into Cancer, by the 15th of June, Jupiter had moved up to 1 degree of Cancer. There's 30 degrees in a sign. And then a few days later, the Jupiter will then be at 2 degrees of Cancer. So why am I mentioning this? Because Saturn and Neptune are in the early degrees of Aries. And Aries is a fire sign. Jupiter is in Cancer, a water sign. Water and fire can create a lot of boiling water or evaporation, a lot of stress. Now, having Jupiter squaring Saturn briefly, just in the middle of June, you could be a lot of restlessness and worried about your job. With the Neptune, you might be feeling very lost and unfocused. Now, Jupiter will go forwards and stop and appear to retrograde, but when it retrogrades, it's not coming back to these early degrees, hitting the Saturn Neptune. So it's only going to really impact you for a week or two, maybe 2 weeks. Now, and it could be, this frustrations about your job, maybe about your health, but it would all be compelling you to take on more responsibilities with work and health to improve your lot. But let's talk about that Saturn-Neptune. I talked about it in last month's video. They're going to be aligning in the sign of Aries once every 36 years. Will be exact next February. But this end of May, certainly June, July, we're getting a preview. Now they're going to be within a degree of each other, not an exact 0 degrees conjunction to start this new cycle next February. But we're seeing all the clues of where this is going. Ordinarily, Saturn and Neptune can be very discouraging, very worrisome. But powerful Pluto is in Aquarius, and in July, liberating progressive Uranus is going into Gemini. These are 2 powerful outer planets which can be life-changing if they're hitting your chart in air signs. And air is very compatible with fire. The Saturn-Neptune alignment is in the fire sign of Aries. So the positive, which we really need, is we might start seeing some hope by July, August, but then it starts to really become real and anchored in by February of manifesting your dreams. Neptune is the dream, the vision, the idealism. Saturn aligning with it every 36 years will at least help you, support you in believing it's possible, that you can make your vision real. But you can manifest your vision. And you're starting to be seeing it set up this June, certainly into July. Aries, the Saturn-Neptune is in Aries, which is 3 signs past Aquarius. So that vision that you are manifesting and developing, 3rd house matters. Education, writing, classes, selling. So all forms of communications are going to really help you manifest your dreams. Maybe you're wanting to write a book. Maybe you want to be an actor or write music or perform music. That's all under the 3rd house. Or if it's all business for you, 3rd house is sales, lots of communications. Certainly you could be learning the 3rd house, a lot of new work skills to really support the writing, the acting, the singing. But June could be this push-pull because all this energy is rushing in and you could get a little bit overwhelmed, but that's only lasting for a couple of weeks. Let's look to Mars. Mars is the warrior planet in mythology. Mars is aggressive and assertive. Mars is in Aquarius. Well, it's in Leo, opposite Aquarius, from the middle of April through June the 17th. So the first 17 days of June, assertive, impatient Mars is transiting your 7th house of partnerships. Could be business partnerships, personal relationships. Sometimes with Mars, you're too impatient, but you certainly want to go for it. And the first 3 weeks anyhow, with Mars, the first 17 days in your 7th house of relationships, the sun is putting a spotlight the first 20 days on your 5th house of romance. So this could be a very playful, sociable time before it's time to get back to work and start learning new job skills, starting new businesses. Venus is the planet of love and desire, and it will be in Taurus, transiting your 4th house of home and family and real estate from June the 5th to July the 4th. This could be very favorable for entertaining at home, beautifying your home, having a family gathering, vacations. And lastly, the Mars, after it leaves your 7th house of relationships, it's moving into the 8th house from once every 2 years from June the 17th through August the 6th. So there's going to be a lot of activity with 8th house matters, which could be your financial obligations. You might be really stirred up and anxious about your financial obligations or taxes or insurance, but this could also bring in a lot of negotiations with business contracts. And that could also be positive with that exalted Jupiter in the 6th house of launching a new business or attracting a major new work account. So I want to thank you for watching. If you'd like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.